It feels like there has been some little steps over the last couple of years where they have got closer to becoming a half in, half out royals. Have the royal family taken the eye off the ball? They've been busy with the state visit.
Well, there's nothing the royal family can do about it because they are not part of the senior working team of the royal family. This is the hybrid role that Harry sincerely believed was on offer to him before the Sandringham summit, where he says it was taken off the table. You know, and they said service is universal.
Should the royal family step in and say, you shouldn't be doing this, this is wrong?
It's a good point. I mean, I think they're out of control. They're out of the control of the royal family. What can the king do? I mean, genuinely, I think obviously when William gets into power, he will be much stronger on making sure that they do not do this to the legacy. But unfortunately, I don't think the king has the chutzpah to be able to put the foot down here.
I don't think Charles nor William can stop them doing it. I mean, you're right. They're not out of control, but they are out of the control of Charles and William. They're doing what they want to do, and nobody can tell them. He was here in September, of course, did a week of engagements in September, which was really,
And it felt like a royal visit, Simon.
It was look at what you're missing, because he's really, really good at it. And he still doesn't believe that there should be, one or the other. There can be a hybrid. I mean, I don't think there's much that we don't know how much contact there is between Charles and Harry. Anyway, we're pretty sure there's nothing between Harry and William. Charles has got enough on his plate. He loves Harry. He wants there to be reconciliation there, but I don't think he's in a position, or he wants to tell Harry what to do. In terms of the foreign tours, I don't know how many they're going to do. Maybe one a year, maybe two a year.
No, I think it's going to be more.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that genuinely, we had Bronte on the other week who spent a bit of time with them down in Australia, and she was giving quite a lot away. She was like hinting that this is the direction that they are going. And I just wonder whether the palace have been concentrating so much on this state visit, so much on Andrew, that they've taken the eye off the ball. Montecito.
When will all this obsession end? Forget the palace drama, forget the headlines. Look at this like a regular life situation. This is what it looks like. You leave a family business, not a normal job, a family business, the kind where everyone already decided your role before you could even speak. You try to adjust, you try to play nice, but the rules keep on changing depending on who you are and how much they like you that week. So one day you bounce. Now here's where it gets weird. Instead of people saying, all right, they left, you got a whole squad of commentators acting like you're still on that payroll. Enter guys like Matt Wilkinson sitting there like unpaid supervisors, giving instructions, critiques, performance reviews. Sir, they don't work there anymore. That's like quitting a restaurant and the old chef is still yelling, you're chopping onions wrong. From across the street, at some point you've got to laugh. Now, zoom in on Prince Harry. This is a guy who did not just leave a job. He stepped out a whole identity that was built from him since birth. That's not a small move. That's like deleting your entire character and starting a new game on hard mode. No safety net, no script, just vibes and responsibility. And people are mad because he's not struggling enough. That's what it feels like sometimes. Same with Meghan Sussex. They expected her to fold, to disappear quietly, maybe come back apologizing like, please, let me back in. Instead, she's out there living life, doing deals, raising kids, and not begging anyone for permission. That's where the real tension is. Not what they're doing, but what they're not doing. They're not asking. Now let's talk about King Charles for a second. People keep saying King Charles wants peace. Cool, maybe, but regular people don't listen to speeches. We watch behavior. And the behavior, it feels like when a parent says, you can do what you want, but don't expect my support. That line hits different when grandkids are involved. Speaking of Prince Archie and Princess Elizabeth growing up in all of this drama. Strip away the titles and it's just kids whose parents chose a different path. And that's something a lot of people understand, because not everyone stays in the system they were born into. Some people step out and build something new, even if it's messy. Now, let's bring in Prince William. He's the opposition path. Stayed, followed the structure, took the role. Nothing wrong with that, but here's the tension. One brother stayed in the machine. The other said, I'm good. That split, that's where all this noise is coming from, because once somebody proves you can walk away and still survive, maybe even thrive, it messes with the whole setup. It's like realizing the only way wasn't actually the only way, and that makes a lot of people uncomfortable. So the media keeps talking, Experts keep experting. Everybody's got advice. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan are just living, working, traveling, raising their kids, making their own money, and not checking in, not asking, is this okay? And honestly, that's the part people don't know how to process, because it's not rebellion anymore, it's independence. And independence, you can't manage that. Let's not dress this up in royal English. Let's talk like people who have actually lived life. You ever notice how power moves don't come with warning labels? Nobody ever says, hey, I'm about to control you now. No, it comes wrapped in policy, procedure. It's complicated type of thing. That's what this whole situation feels like from the outside. When King Charles pulled security from Prince Harry, Meghan and their kids, people started speaking fluent PR overnight. Oh, it's a protocol. It's a transition. They're non-working royals. Big words, clean words. But regular people, we don't hear all that. We hear you are on your own. And listen, before anyone jumps here, there are official reasons governments give. Security isn't some casual thing. It's tied to roles, risk levels, all that. That part is real. But the feeling people get, that's a different story. Because in everyday life, when support gets pulled the exact moment to step out of line, it does not feel random. It feels personal. It feels like that moment when someone says, oh, you don't want to follow my rules? Cool. Let's see how you manage without me. That's not royal. That's universal. Now, let's zoom in on Prince Harry. Prince Harry said, I'm leaving. Not just the job, the whole setup. That's a risky move. That's like quitting a family business where your name is literally on the building. And instead of things cooling down, everything got louder. Security gone, media noise up, pressure everywhere. To a regular person, that combo looks like pressure tactics, whether it actually is or not. That's the opinion split, but the vibe is doing a lot of talking. And this is where it hits home, because most people have seen some versions of this. Not with crowds and castles, but with families, bosses, and in relationships. You step out, you choose your own path, suddenly the safety net disappears. Coincidence? Maybe, but it really feels like one. Now add Meghan Sussex into it. You already know how that went. Scrutiny on 100. Criticism for breathing wrong. Everything under a microscope. So from the outside, it looks like a couple saying, yes, we are not doing this anymore. And the system responding like, alright then, good luck. No soft landing, no gentle exit, just vibes and consequences. And then people wonder why folks side-eye the whole situation. Because once kids are involved, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet, it stops being about gossip and starts feeling real. Regular people don't think in royal terms at that point. They think, wait, so grandkids do? That's where emotions kick in. Now, let's keep it honest. This isn't a simple good versus bad movie. Power, scrutiny, government rules, it's all layered. Not everything is a mastermind plan, but also not everything is neutral either. Sometimes a decision can be technically by the book and still feel like a message. And the message people are picking up, if you step away, don't expect the same protection. That's what lands, not the press release, not the official explanations, the feeling. And once that feeling steps in, no amount of expert commentary is fixing it. Not even guys like Matt Wilkinson breaking it down on TV. Because regular people don't live in press briefings, they live in real life patterns. And patterns, a lot of people recognize it. That's why the conversation won't die. Not because everyone agrees, but because it feels familiar in a way people can't ignore. Let's keep this whole situation simple. You can't reject a plan and then get mad when someone runs that same plan on their own. That's like saying, no, you can't start that business here. Then 6 months later, why are you running that business over there? That's the situation with Harry and Meghan. They pitched a middle ground setup. It got shut down. Cool decision made. So they stepped out and built it anyway. Outside the royal fold. Now suddenly the same idea is a problem. Just make it make sense. And then you've got commentators like Matt Wilkinson and the team acting like this is some scandal. Bro, they're just freelancing at a very high level. Let's talk real life. Money. Because this is where everything gets quiet. They're not using taxpayer cash. Not calling the palace for expenses. No royal allowance hitting the account at midnight. They earn, they spend, their problem. That's normal adult life. And this is the part people don't like to admit. Once someone pays their own bills, your control drops to zero. Zero. You can't threaten to cut them off. You can't say follow the rules or else. There is no or else. That's why independence hits different. Because now if King Charles or Prince William don't like what Harry and Meghan are doing, what's the leverage? Nothing. Just opinions. And opinions don't pay rent. Opinions don't put food on the table. This is what regular people see. Two people left a system, got told you can't do it that way, went outside, did it anyway, and in their own terms, and made it work. That's not rebellion, that's entrepreneurship with extra drama. And yes, it makes the old system uncomfortable because the moment one person proves you can walk away and still eat, everybody else starts looking at the exit door like, huh? So all this noise about hybrid roles and they shouldn't be doing this, it's just frustration because they said no and Harry and Meghan said cool. Watch this. Thank you so much guys for watching this podcast. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm your host Miles and I'll catch you in the next episode. Please like our videos, share widely to friends, family and relatives, subscribe, and may God bless you. Thanks for supporting Harry and Meghan. Catch you in the next episode and goodbye.